What's good, fam? This video, honestly, is probably gonna make a lot of people mad. But that's okay because it's something that I feel led to talk about, right? On this channel, we like to talk about love, light, joy, and peace. And there's been a lot of tea going on with the pro-life, pro-choice kind of situation. And from what I've heard, Roe v. Wade has been overturned. And I kind of just wanted to share a little bit of my view when we talk about good vibe, how this is connected to, you know, our life force and creativity. And as you know, I've battled my sexual demons. I've helped others with theirs. And this war on abortion is no different. So how do I begin this? So let's just look at it this way. We all came from our parents' procreation. They came together and they had sex, and your mama was impregnated with you and you came into this world. Now, we are seeing increasing numbers of abortion throughout the years. And this is also very much connected with dating apps, with the adult industry, pornography, and overall this social culture that we see that we could almost call self-destructive convenience, for lack of a better word. And I think that's a great way to word it, and that's what we're going to be talking about today: self-destructive convenience and what it really does to a person. Now, this isn't to out anyone. First off, I know that this is a very, very sensitive topic for many people who have had to make the hard choice of, you know, removing a developing life from their lives in order to hopefully create a better life. I know many people, some of the closest women that I know, that have had an abortion. Now, with that being said, I don't really, how do I put this? I think that we've gotten a little bit out of hand with abortions. And what do I mean by this? Well, for one thing, and I'm sorry, I have connected a lot with unborn children, or fetuses, as people call them. I've connected with thousands of unborn children. And it has been something that I don't talk about much, unless I'm talking directly to a soul that I think, you know, that child is trying to contact or share a message. But it is a lot of energy when you really think about it. So when you really think that an abortion is when, you know, a child begins to develop, and the parents are torn between the situation that they're in, to the point where they would rather exterminate this aspect of their own life, their life force, which is being manifested as a human being. The fact that in society it is so normal for us to terminate these defenseless, you could say, clusters of cells that are an extension of your own life force. It's hard, and it's hard. I don't think that... Sorry, my dog's gonna bark because the energy, because it's intense, right? It is intense. It is quite intense. We are all here, and there are lots of reasons that people have been like, Esther, you know, I had to do it because so-and-so. And sometimes the situation is financially. I can't support myself financially. How would I support a child and myself at the same time financially? And that's a good, like, don't get me wrong, it's not like you don't have to justify why you feel led to make the decision to get an abortion. Some people say it's only justifiable if it's something like rape or, sexual assault, where the woman didn't have any choice whatsoever. And so, obviously, they don't want to be connected to their rapist in that way. And so it would be better to just exterminate, in a way, the evidence that anything like that ever happened. Now, what I believe happens when you have an abortion, emotionally, what's happening with the sacral is that, first off, the life force that your body was preparing to manifest and bring into the world does not just stop when you have an abortion. There are medication that you take to kind of regulate your hormones, but your body is getting ready to transform itself. Emotionally, there's a lot happening. And when you go through a procedure such as abortion, emotionally, you're almost cutting yourself off, and it's almost like afterwards you have to kind of remove yourself from the situation, because it is a lot to bear. And so I think that I have so much love for those who have gone through the tough choice of having an abortion, because I'll be honest, I remember as a kid, when I was very young, probably like 11 or so, and my sister was probably around 14 or so, and she told me she was pregnant. I freaked out. I threatened to throw her down the stairs. I was literally going to shove my sister down the stairs to kill the child. That is not okay. And yeah, you could say I was a kid and I was freaking out. And she was pranking me, by the way. It was a prank. But I freaked out. I hysterically fell down on the ground and I cried. And so I get how, that was a prank. So I can only imagine what some people feel when they realize what's going on. Now, here's the thing. I said it in the beginning. This convenient culture that is so self-destructive is killing people, quite literally. We're seeing many people have abortions because of convenience. And I just don't know about you, but that just doesn't sound ethically right. I don't know, guys. Maybe this is me. I think that it's a blessing that, abortions can be done in quote-unquote safe environments for the mother, and in a professional way. I think that's something that makes women feel safe. It makes them feel safe. And, but this convenience culture of I'm bored, I'm horny, let me find somebody on Tinder or Bumble to fuck. And, I don't want to use protection because it feels better without. Snap. Birth control didn't work. Maybe the contraceptive didn't work. What are you gonna do now? Well, obviously this child is a big inconvenience for many people, hence why they choose to have an abortion. Whether it's socially, economically, wherever they are in their life, it's an inconvenience for them. And because they were probably having sex out of convenience at the time, and this isn't to say this is everybody's situation, because it's absolutely not. But more than most of the times, it's a convenience thing. And then when all of that pleasure comes, and then you're left with the consequences of the convenience, you have a child on your hands, and you have to figure out what you have to do with that child. And many people, in a panic, like 11-year-old me was, freak out and just want everything to go back to how it was, and will do whatever is necessary in that moment to kind of reverse so that you don't have to pay the consequences. But of course you're paying the consequences. You're shedding innocent blood. And let that be a lesson. And I feel like unborn babies are maybe the biggest example of Jesus and the crucifixion, because they are literally sinless. They haven't even come into the world. Like, right? Wasn't Mary virgin? And yet humanity killed him. Not because he did anything sinful, but because of our own sin did he die. And I think that's really the biggest thing. I'm not here to condemn anybody who's had an abortion, had any part in an abortion. No, I'm here to just honor the unborn lives and the energy, the creation that those souls created and sacrificed. That sacrifice that was made out of this convenience, the consequences that were paid for. You know, that child's life was the price that was paid for the parents and the convenience that they took and the choices they made. And that abortion, the blood that was spilled, is really the sacrifice that needs to be honored. You can't, and I don't think there's ever a time where I'd ever be mad at somebody, you know, if they had an abortion. But I would grieve the child that was lost in the process. The being that died in order for their parent to live a better life, you know, because ultimately that's why the parents do it, so that they can continue to live a good life or continue to live a better life. And that is hard. I've seen people where it's almost like the limiting beliefs of, I don't think I can do this. And then when the child comes, I don't think I can be a good parent. I don't think I'm ready for that. And in my heart, I'm like, yes, you are. But it's not my place. It's not my place. And I respect the choices that these individuals make, because I understand that ultimately this life is a playground. I've had children, these unborn children, these fetuses that have been aborted, tell me to tell their parents, hey, it's okay, I love mommy, I love daddy. I knew that this was a part of my mission here. I hope that, you know, they'll say some things, some smart ass things about their parents. And, you know, daddy was kind of an asshole to mommy, or, you know, there was, you know, mommy was so emotional or whatnot. And they'll say, I love them and I'll always be here. But I know that this was what I'm here for. I hope that they're not mad at me or themselves. And that they know that just to honor that child's life is so important. And so this is kind of a calling out to those that have had to go through the grief and just the process of an abortion, that they take time to grieve properly for themselves and the child, because it's a hard process. And that life that you're creating really, 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 it has a purpose. And there are people that get really mad because they're like, you have no right to kill an unborn child, even if you're the one that did the things to make it happen. And there are people on the other end that say, you have no right to tell me what to do with my body, because I am in control and my body, my choice. And I think that is just so important to really focus on who this is all actually about. It's about taking responsibility. And I know I've talked about this before and in a recent video about what it really means to be an adult. And it doesn't mean that you grow older. It means that you take responsibility for your life force energy, all of it. Because when you are a parent, you now have this manifestation, this mini manifestation of your own energy to take care of and to nurture and to assist in growing optimally. And that's when you're really an adult. When you take care of yourself, you nurture your own energy, the energy around you, so that it can grow optimally. That's when you're adult. Don't go playing around with adult content if you can't take care of your own life force energy, because that's childish. It's okay to be a child, and it's important to understand that purity and to allow yourself to surrender to God's will, because ultimately God's will is still happening through the misfortune and through the sadness and through the grief and through the joy and the peace and the happiness and the bliss. All of those emotions, God is still with you, but it is so important to allow yourself to feel and to parent yourself during these times. I know I'm getting all emotional because, I've been connecting deeply, just doing, tapping in. And if there's anybody who's grieving during this time, whether you or a loved one or anybody have been grieving an unborn child's life, and you'd like any support, please reach out, because I do feel very much led to just hold space for those who are grieving during this time, through however that may look like. Because I know that logically, to exterminate somebody else's life because you feel like it's the only way to survive in the world and to thrive, there is something deep within you that is in pain and that is hurting and just needs to be acknowledged. And it's okay, man. We all out here together, and it's a journey. Again, no judgment, so much love. It's hard, I am a part of, I do help out with the pro-life movement, but again, I would never, even if when I have the opportunity, it's very odd to tell people don't have an abortion. It's almost like I take a step back and I realize this is their choice. This is their choice, because they're here on the planet to learn something. And I'm not gonna force my views on anyone. I just really want to hold the space to understand and honor the life that is within their hands, that they're making that choice for. I know this is probably kind of an upsetting video for some people, but thank you for watching. I would love to hear, what your experiences are. I know that some people immediately are going to feel very triggered because I'm, and just the nature, especially because of the sensitive nature of this topic and how connected it is with the sacral chakra and just our emotions and our divine feminine and inner child aspects. It's so potent a place. And so just remember to take care of this energy, because it is the future. You're holding the future within your being. What you can create, it's all there. And if you have, again, gone through this, then create and honor, the child by creating something for it, whatever that may be. If you're a musician, an artist, any kind of creation, a writer, creating something to honor that life and to reflect what you learned, it's so much more powerful than you know. And for some of them, that's all they want. They just want to be acknowledged. They just want to be, even in their parents' hearts, just a little bit of them doesn't want to be hated. a little part of them, just like any other child, just wants to be acknowledged. And so creating something not only for them but for you going through the grief helps so much. These tears, they're just coming because the energy is hot right now, and that's okay. I am a crying mess, but it's really just because, you know what, like, God works in mysterious ways. His ways are not our ways. I love you, and I thank you for watching this video. I really, really appreciate it. I have been debating making a video like this for the past 2 years, and I just thought, hey, now is probably a time to make a video. Again, I know people are gonna be mad, and I just pray that whatever that energy is within them that feels hurt or triggered or attacked, that it just be acknowledged, and that, you know, we get to the root of what actually is going on there, so that we can just bring peace and this space back. Yeah, I don't really get into politics. I don't really, it's a whole drama show. I don't really care. People gonna do what they're gonna do. People gonna lie, people gonna not lie, you know, it is what it is. But I really, really, really do care about humans deeply, and yeah, alright, enough about me. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you again for watching this video. Please reach out if you need any kind of help that you feel like I could assist you with. And God bless. Namaste.